Our non-stop coverage on NDTV continues regarding the G20 Leaders Summit that New Delhi is hosting. Currently, we're joined by an Italian journalist, Marina. She's made time for us on NDTV. She's actually from Rai Television. Thank you so much, Marina, for joining us on NDTV. Now, there are reports that your Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, has said that Italy plans to pull out of China's BRI initiative. What are you hearing?
Let's say that I'm not covering actually the internal affairs, so I'm more focusing on foreign affairs and what are the main challenges and outcomes of this very important summit for India. Yes, definitely this memorandum of maritime and rail connection between India, Europe and Middle East is one of the crucial agreements that has been made. So yes, definitely maybe I was more focusing on how is it perceived globally. So analysts and also outcomes here points out that maybe Washington won a bit over China. We can also underline that the leader, China's leader, Xi Jinping, hasn't been here. So this memorandum is very important also to mark the presence of Washington and President Biden. So in that terms, it's a very significant shift, I would say.
Right. Also, Marina, India and your country, Italy, have shared stable relations, good relations, in fact. Our leaders have just met for bilaterals as well, and there's been chatter over boosting cooperation as far as defense and technology is concerned?
Yes, India is definitely one of the protagonists in a global level. Let's say that you had a very challenging and huge achievements reached in the last decade. From the 10th, you became the fifth largest economy in the world with the objective to become the third. So definitely an important and crucial player in this part of the world. Of course, summit, I would say, of this proportion is also the only place where the global south can meet the Western countries, and in that sense also Italy, of course. When I'm saying global south, this is a very unprecedented organization marking Indian presidency next year, Brazilian one, and afterwards the South African one. So we have the global south that for the first time hosts such a big event of such a crucial occasion where north and south are meeting. So yes, of course, Italy is playing a huge role in G20, and having global south as a player and the possibility for the dialogue is very important.
Now, Marina, lots to unpack as far as the New Delhi Declaration is concerned. But for you, what's been the most significant takeaway?
The most significant takeaway, I would once again point and underline the global south. And this was the first news that your Prime Minister Modi announced, opening actually this 18th edition of G20, inviting officially 55 countries exceeding 1 billion people of African continent, African Union to join the G20. I think this is the major shift. Of course, having the final declaration achieved already on the first day, it's a great achievement of the Indian presidency. But if we look on a global level, definitely having the African Union as a new, let's say, protagonist, a new member of this such an important organization is a huge achievement. We will have 55 new countries of the continent, which was quite excluded in all these years, and we have to remember that these kind of gatherings started in 1999, and not having African countries on the table with them big representatives of the global economy is really a huge loss for everything. So this is a huge step forward. Thanks also for your presidency and this edition.
Well, Marina, as we wrap, was this the first time you were in New Delhi?
This wasn't my first time. I actually just been here a month ago. I had the possibility, thanks also to G20 Summit organization, to have this introductive trip and journey toward India to get to know a bit the organization and the cities. I must admit that I was astonished by the fact that the city, the capital, was completely desert. It's like a ghost town comparing to 2 weeks ago.
With phenomenal preps going into
but it's inevitable, of course, also to make sure that everything goes well. a bit astonishing images that I haven't expected. But yes, I found it very interesting, inspiring from the cultural point of view and also from the organizational point of view, and with let's say also a nature relativism that we are encountering of this part of the world. I'm very happy to be here.
We're so glad. We're so happy to host you. Thank you so much, Marina, for joining us on NDTV.
Thank you very much for having me.
With video journalist Pooja Arya, this is Parmeshwar Bawa for NDTV.